Here it comes, boys and girls, pretty much all of the information that you're going to need right now for the Battlefield 1 They Shall Not Pass DLC. Information on the new Behemoth, the French army, a new game mode, a new elite class, map names, and even more. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start with the 4 new maps that will be included in the DLC, and I'm going to go through them one by one. The first map is called Verdun Heights, and here's the description that DICE have given us. The opening barrage of the Battle of Verdun created massive forest fires in which players will fight for domination. This is an uphill battle towards the massive fortresses of Verdun, a constant grinding struggle where artillery never stops, where the Forge and the Devil's Anvil continues to consume even the bravest combatants. This is the map that we saw in the concept art with the forest ablaze in the background, soldiers trying to climb up the hill, and it kind of reminds me of the map Hill 137 from Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam. It certainly looks like a map where you're going to have to try and use any cover that you can to not be spotted by the enemy. Map number 2 is called Fort Vaux, and this is one of the big fortresses that guarded Verdun during the First World War. Here's the description. The first big engagement inside a fort during World War I takes place in the dark underworld of Fort Vaux. Down in the maze of dark galleries and wet stone corridors, French and Germans fight ferociously with grenades, guns, bayonets, and flamethrowers. Watch your corners. Just from the picture, this looks like Operation Metro 1916. It's gonna be the meat grinder map in this DLC. People can lob all the grenades they like and run around with SMGs, and they will be in their element. I'm excited to see just how much of a cluster map this is gonna be. It's certainly one that I'm looking forward to playing. Map number 3 is called Wasel, and this will be an exciting map for people who like vehicles. Here's the description. Take part in one of the biggest tank assaults of World War I. The French 10th Army moves to take back Wasel using their powerful Charmant tanks. Planes, tanks, and infantry clash in the beautiful French countryside in the early hours of a hot summer day. Only the thunderstorm is louder than the war. A hint there at some new dynamic weather coming in the form of a thunderstorm, but this looks to be the standout map for vehicle players in this DLC. And map number 4 is called Rupture, and well, the picture doesn't really give you much information, so I'll go straight to the description. In dire need to capture key bridges across the Anya River, the French find themselves back into battlefields where poppies grow over a rusty wreck from previous tank battles. It might seem calm, but this maze of steel provides an excellent place for those who like to plan an ambush. As the sun sets over Fontenoy, the battle wakes up. This is perhaps going to be similar in size to Verdun Heights, but with more cover in the form of a tank graveyard, and at the end of the description there, I think they're hinting towards potentially a night setting, or at least at sunset, and it gets progressively darker as you play through the map. There's not a huge amount of information that you can really get from that description right now, so we'll need to wait for more info once DICE release it. Moving on from the 4 maps, we of course have the French army coming in this DLC, which is really one of the main points, and we can see a nice shot here of the French medic in his iconic blue clothing, and here what looks like the assault class carrying an MP18. Another image that I managed to nab from the website is this. This is the key art for the French army, and I pointed this out on my Instagram page the other day. He's holding the Shoshat machine gun. So could this possibly be the support class model? I think it's more than likely, but DICE have neglected to give any information in this news drop about weapons coming in this DLC. It's pretty much the only thing they didn't detail. I'm pretty sure the Shoshat is going to be one of those weapons, but we've got nothing confirmed right now. Up next, a new game mode will be coming with the DLC. It will be called Front Lines. Now, the name suggests this kind of push and pull style mode like frontline trenches, and that's pretty much exactly what we're getting. Experience a mix of conquest and rush as you fight for chained control points in a tug-of-war front line. Both teams fight for one flag at a time, and when this objective is captured, the action moves on to the next. Capture the enemy's HQ control point, and the game turns into a rush-style section where telegraph posts need to be attacked or defended. If any of you have played Battlefield 4, and I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who have, this sounds oddly like Chainlink. In that game mode, you needed to capture objectives in a chain to run down the enemy's reinforcements. It sounds similar here, but the fighting will only occur over one point at a time, and whoever takes that point will push the other team back. The last points are the HQ points, and if those are captured by the attacking team, then the game will finish off with the attackers needing to destroy some telegraph posts. This is an interesting concept. Certainly sounds like it's in keeping with the war itself, but I do want to see it in action first. A little bit apprehensive about everybody going for one capture point at the same time. Next, the new Behemoth, confirmed as the Char 2C tank, as we all thought it was going to be. Now, the Char 2C never actually saw any use during World War I, only afterwards into the 1920s. But as DICE have already bent the rules so much with other things in this game, I'm really not too bothered about its inclusion. This will presumably act like the other behemoths in the game. It will spawn in for the team that needs it, and then it's got a finite amount of health that the other team will need to chip away at to try and destroy it. Now, there's no information on how many soldiers it can carry, but it does look very fun, and I can't wait to give this one a try. Another vehicle being added is the Charmant tank, which is a French creation, and it's the most heavily armed tank of the entire war. It looks pretty scary to me, and no doubt it will be added into the mix on the DLC maps, but there's no information as to whether it will be replacing another one of the tanks in the game, whether it's another land ship or another heavy tank, or whether it's just going to be added into the mix as an extra tank. No information on that right now. Who knows what it will be, but I'm excited to play it because damn, that thing looks amazing. The new elite class has been confirmed as well. He's called Trench Raider, and he will be a melee-focused elite class. Not sure about that one. Armed with his trench mace, that's the club that we saw in the teaser last week, and, wait for this, an impressive grenade arsenal. Did Battlefield 1 need a walking grenade factory as an elite class? Because that's what I've got in my head right now. Impressive grenade arsenal just says to me, he's got lots of grenades and he's going to be able to throw them. Did Battlefield 1 need any more grenades than we've already got? Probably not, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. It sounds interesting, an extreme close quarters elite class, but I'm a little bit scared that all those grenades are just going to be spammed everywhere. And finally, a new stationary weapon is being added. It's called the Siege Howitzer. It's similar to a field gun, and it can be operated by an infantry player, and it's operated through indirect aiming and firing in the same way as mortars and artillery in vehicles. Seems an appropriate addition, and especially on some of those maps with lots of trenches, it could be a very effective unit indeed. Now, will it replace the field gun? Not 100% sure. The site doesn't include that information. If it does, I don't think it's going to make too much difference, but the fact that it's an indirect fire weapon could mean that it plays a different role slightly. And there you go. All the information so far on the They Shall Not Pass DLC, and as I said earlier in the commentary, pretty much the only thing that DICE neglected to tell us about was the weapons, and certainly we didn't get any gameplay at this point, but we do now have a very good insight into what we're getting in March. Just a couple of months away now. Sounds like a long time, but it really isn't. We're nearly at the end of January. I thought it was New Year just like a week ago, but it's gone that fast already, so really, we don't have long to wait. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. Drop me a like whilst you're down there, and until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.